Yeah, 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 yeah. Lot of days I would pray that I show love, but I never get a why, it's so tough. Everybody wanna fall, so I hold up. You don't wanna see me win, nigga, don't front. Maybe know that you better get your game up, or I try to move on, better say something. Sorry, babe, hate to say that I can't love. I don't wanna fall down, either shit ain't good, but it's alright. I just wanna put a stop to a low life. Living up, trying to find how my soul fly. A lot of niggas gon' hate, I don't know why. Shawty looking so bright in the moonlight, but I gotta watch my heart, ain't no more cry. I've been getting to this money, set the move right. Get my son up on a rush till it's right. Yeah, keep my heart far from it going to shame. If we fall off, just know I'm not to blame. Baby, just tell me you want me the same. Ain't got no more time for us playing these games. This music, it made me unstoppable. They try to get me, but it's just not probable. I just been kicking, shit feel like impossible. Get to this check and my crowd is not optional. Lot of days I would pray that I show love, but I never get a why, it's so tough. Everybody wanna fall, so I hold up. You don't wanna see me win, nigga, don't front. Maybe know that you better get your game up, or I try to move on, better say something. Sorry, babe, hate to say that I can't love. I don't wanna fall down, really wanna turn back to the old me. Lot of bitches online trying to hold me, always finna hold on what they told me. So I only fuck them hard, never slowly. I've been smoking all these drugs when I'm lonely. Now I'm moving, trying to ball like I'm Kobe. Always been a day one for the Brody. A lot of niggas had to go cause they phony. No, there ain't no more stopping me. See these words I be spitting, I know there's no topping me. Got so tired of robbery. All these bitches been playing me, never was part of me. Never fall into poverty. I'm a man on a mission, no matter how hard for me. Thinking God who I started me. To my brothers in heaven, they gonna be proud of me. Yeah, I'm lit on regarding me. See me ballin' the riches, ain't nobody guarding me. So you better not start with me. I got plenty of rage, I can let off so heartedly. For the people that's watching me, tell these people they missing the legend and harboring. So excuse me and pardon me. Don't think I'm in my prime, I'm just hitting it partially. Lot of days I would pray that I show love, but I never get a why, it's so tough. Everybody wanna fall, so I hold up. You don't wanna see me win, nigga, don't front. Maybe know that you better get your game up, or I try to move on, better say something. Sorry, babe, hate to say that I can't love. I don't wanna fall down just to break up. No, there ain't no more stopping me. See these words I be spitting, I know there's no stopping me. Got so tired of robbery. All these bitches been playing me, never was part of me. Never fall into poverty. I'm a man on a mission, no matter how hard for me. Thinking God who I started me. My brothers in heaven, they gonna be proud of me.
Welcome back, it's Dominic Carey, and I'm just here to talk about the making of my first music video. Yes, I finally decided to start doing music videos, which was very intimidating. I'm not going to be doing a lot of like behind the scenes and talking about the whole production of it, merely just be talking about pre and post. I didn't get that much behind the scenes footage, and it was a pretty simple shoot. I'm really just going to be talking about how I reached out to the client, getting the shoot together, doing the shoot, and then a bit of the post work. Now, why I decided to start doing music videos, kind of wanted to just diversify what I do, try to, branch out and try to do other things. Obviously, the main goal is to direct feature films, but many people get there doing many different things. Some people do start off with music videos. I think the most famous person being David Fincher before he started directing films. So I kind of just wanted to diversify. Also, I know like plenty of artists, smaller artists who are trying to blow up. I figure, I'm trying to get bigger, they're trying to be bigger. It's be great as artists to help out each other. Helping out each other is an important thing that we all should be doing. So yeah, this should be pretty quick, pretty short video, hopefully. I know I make this a little too overly long. I'm gonna try to keep it as short and to the point as possible. So reaching out to the client. The client was Santo Dej, aka Du Jour. I've known him since pre-K. We were in the same pre-K class together, and we also played football together since we were about like 7 or 8 years old. I've known him basically my whole life. I've known he's wanted to make music for the longest time. We used to do chorus together, and I decided when he had put out a new song to reach out and see if he'd be okay if I directed a music video for him. We didn't end up making this for that song, but he said there was another song that he wanted to do a video for, and we decided just to do that, which is the song Say Some. After that, I listened to the song on repeat, watched a bunch of music videos. I used to watch music videos a lot when I was little. Like, I adored music videos growing up. But I haven't that much over the past couple of years, so I need to refresh my memory. Because, I've only really been exercising my narrative muscles. It's kind of like with the whole spec ad thing. Trying that is, I watch a lot more ads, try to figure out to flex those muscles, because those use completely different muscles. Music videos use completely different muscles than narrative, unless you make like a narrative type music video, which is probably what I'm going to lean towards in the future. But I also want to do more and try to flex different muscles, because they all are going to work together anyways. And exercising these different groups just make the other ones even better. So I watch a lot of music videos, I listen to the song a million times, get in my head, try to figure out what I'm picturing. You know, I mean, we all do that when we listen to music. We all, you know, grow up looking out the car window, listening to music, just imagining a music video in your head. We all still do it to this day. So it's basically doing the exact same thing, except I actually get to, you know, try to make the picture in my head, but also try to make it as affordable as possible, which is the whole, you know, main thing when it comes to all of this, is just the whole budget filmmaking aspect of it. Obviously, I can't rent out a million locations, I can't rent out drones. It is just me and my pocket camera. I gotta do what I can with what I got. So for locations, when I asked him about his ideas for the film, he said he kind of wanted it to be a lot more, so I think the word he used, honest, authentic, kind of just like grounded, something a bit like not as like flashy like a normal hip-hop music video would be, just real, I guess. And while talking about this, he had mentioned, you know, possibly doing parks. He mentioned one park that we grew up going to, Console Park, which I used to live like 5 minutes from there. I used to walk there all the time over the summer to play basketball. You know, I know that park like the back of my hand. We played football there. So basically, I pulled what I could from memory. I also went on Google Maps just to also refresh my memory on some of the different areas. And basically, I tried building my shots and the whole look of the film from that. And that's why I made my pitch deck. I never really made a pitch deck or anything like that before, but playing the shoots that I've worked on as a PA or a camera assistant, you know, they've used them, and that's been my experience of seeing how different people do pitch decks, how they create their themes. I didn't do anything incredibly elaborate because it's just me and him. It's not really like I'm trying to pitch this to, you know, people to convince them to be part of it. You know, we've already agreed to the music video. I'm just trying to, you know, convey my vision to him, which is just really just creating a shot list with reference images just to get an idea of what the music video could look like. And that was kind of just the whole main thing with the pitch deck I made. You know, I went on Shot Deck and I pulled some reference shots. I also pulled some reference shots on YouTube, similar to the shots I had in mind, just to get an idea what I was going for. And I basically sent that over to him, and we talked about it for a bit, just to finalize the shots. And that's kind of just the whole pre-production thing. We planned a day for us to go out and shoot, and we went out and we shot it. It was shot all outside, all exteriors. So we only used natural light. I didn't bring any lights out there. I didn't use any. It was just me holding my camera, watching the sun, trying to use it to the best of our abilities. And the shoot was only an hour and a half. He had to end up going somewhere, so we had to cut the shoot short. I originally wanted half the shots to be done during blue hour, golden hour, sunset, you know, just to create a nice look to it, especially because it is outside, and who doesn't like a golden hour shot, you know. So I had to adjust some of the shots to be more fit for daylight, which kind of changed some of the mood and such of the music video. But, you know, we made it work. You know, we ran around the park for an hour and a half trying to get as many shots as possible. And obviously not all these shots we used, some of these shots we didn't use. It's basically the bulk of the shoot and how the shoot went. So now I'm gonna go over to my computer and we are going to talk about post and how I did everything else. All right, so this is the project file, and this is the basically I'm just gonna talk about how I put this together. You know, just the different effects we did, some of the color grading, just so you kind of get an idea of that. You know, it's not that complicated of a project. It is really just a very simple, put the best moments from each take together. That's it. The only effects we really have going on is just the shake and the color grade. So I'm just gonna go over the shake first. I turn off my color grade just because with the base M1 Mini, it's just, you know, sometimes it's a little too much to play, you know, to have fluid color grade playback on here. So I'm just gonna have it with the color grade turned off, that way it plays smoothly. So Dejor, after seeing the first rough cut, decided that he wanted to add the camera shakes in here, you know, just to add a little more, you know, to it. So basically what I did was I put a marker every time there was a bass hit, like a really strong bass hit, and that's where I added the different shakes to, kind of just adds a little more weight to each of those moments. Now, how I did the shakes is just zoom in. I put an adjustment clip on the timeline wherever my marker is, and then I added a directional blur effect on here. This is basically the settings I did for it. The blur angle was so that it would be up and down, because if you change the angle, it can go in different directions. And then the blur strength is something we tried multiple versions of. Originally, I had it with a little shake, but he kind of wanted more. Ended up going overboard, so we kind of found this happy medium. I also originally had the blur type be realistic, but to me, it was just a little too much, so I changed to stylized. And what I did after that is basically I got my keyboard and skip a frame and basically put these basically every other frame apart, so that in between, like, how many frames is this? 1, 2, 3. So in between like 6 frames, I get like, 3 kicks, so it kind of looks like it's jumping and such. And I just repeated that for every single time there was a bass hit in here, which is a lot. I ended up taking out some near the end, as you can see, because I kind of felt like at this point it kind of needed to calm down. I felt like that's a little too much. Alright, next I guess we'll go over, wrong button. We'll go over the color grade. Let me see if I can find a good clip to go over this over. So basically how I've been color grading my videos for a while, it's basically just been this 4-node structure. Let me find a decent moment or clip. I guess this one works. So basically what I've been doing for like the past year and a half, I built this 4-node structure. I start with the 3rd one, where I'll just do a color space transform, and then the 4th one, I'd add the LUTs that I decided to use. I usually use the film notebooks. I do DCI-P3 because on my monitor that's the color space it works in. So I usually go with these depending on which one I want to go through. Usually I always do D60 because it's kind of more neutral, whereas I believe D55 is warmer and D65 is cooler. I might have those backwards. Sometimes you want that if you want a more cool or warm work, but I kind of like to keep mine pretty neutral and just let the lighting in the scene and the color temperature I set for the camera to do the work if I want a warmer or cooler look. So I usually go with just the, in the middle when it comes to the film looks. And then on the 1st node is where I change my lifts and my gain and sometimes my offset to handle exposure. Usually I like to keep them between 896 and 128, just depending on the shot, if I want it to be darker or not. Like how on this one, as you see, there's going to be a little bit of a dip because it seems like he's shadowed here. So it really also just depends on the clip, and what I'm going for is something that needs to be darker. I will make it darker. Let's see with some of my horror stuff. Sometimes these values will be a little bit lower. I just try to keep it here. Really, when you're recording, you kind of want to keep the values, this is where you get the most information. Or it's peaking less, in both directions. At least in my knowledge, that's how you're supposed to do it. And then on the 2nd node in my node tree is usually where I do my contrast and my saturation, which this changed depending on the different versions I did. Usually I like a high contrast roost. Usually I never do saturation all the way up. I'm usually very much against doing that, but for some reason on this one, I kind of just went for it. I don't know why. To me, it just works. Whereas on some of my stuff, I think it's a little too much. You can watch my short film from a distance if you want to see how bad the too much can look. But I feel like on this, I don't know if it's just like the lighting in the area. Like, sure, there's some stuff that looks a little too much. Like the hat definitely looks a little too saturated. But like for the most part, the skin tones and everything looks pretty natural to me. And I feel like it doesn't make the shot look way too unnatural doing it this way. So I just boost it all the way up to 100 saturation. And usually I never get my contrast higher than 1.25. I feel like if you go higher, it kind of just becomes like a little too much. I think 1.25 is a pretty healthy high to reach. But again, all depends on the look you're going for and such. We did experiment with multiple different looks for this. I wasn't sure what direction you want to go to. I know I mentioned to him I kind of wanted a more film look, because I just like the film look better. But I also tried, just a plain Rec 709 look, different types of film looks. And then of course, DaVinci finally came out with their own film look creator, which is kind of similar to Dehancer. Dehancer is more of an emulation. This is more just kind of creating a base look to it. So I also experimented with that. I had to try to like a bleach bypass look, and I'm still learning how to use this. Most of us are. If you see most videos you'll see on the Film Look Creator as of now when this video is going to be put up, have been just learning how to like use it, or basically learning what all these different values are, like what each of these are, what they do, learning what split toning is and such. But no one's really like put out tutorials on creating certain looks, or like trying to recreate a Kodak 2383 500T look or whatever. It's mainly just been like breaking down what all these are, and all of us basically experimenting them, trying to come up with different looks. Which this is definitely the most I played with this since it came out. So I came up with a couple different ones, but there's never been one I've been entirely happy with. So my decision I've decided to do was just add the Film Look Creator at the end, but not use any of the color. Just use the effects, because I'm still learning how to do the color effects. And with the regular effects, usually I kind of know. I've used some of these already. Like halation has been on here for a long time. Same with grain and vignetting. Usually I'd have those as separate nodes afterwards. Like after the 4th node, I have like a halation node, then a grain node, and sometimes if I wanted like a extra analog or film damage look, I'd add those afterwards. Those are different nodes, as you see. I have them favorited that I basically just used a lot in the past. So I kind of felt comfortable with these, and I felt like this is something I'm more comfortable playing around with. And I kind of ended up, after playing around with it, I made a last minute decision, actually yesterday as of recording this, to kind of put all these back to their defaults when you put on the Film Look Creator, because again, I'm still learning to use it here, because this is honestly really different. Like when it came to the regular film grade node, you could add grain, but it wasn't really as strong and present. Every single video I have uploaded to the channel, except for I think the Nike Change spec has had film grain on it. Every single one I've done. But I feel like it's not even noticeable. I feel like it's never noticeable unless I put 16mm and 8mm. 35mm honestly doesn't look noticeable at all. Whereas on here, 35mm film grain honestly is a little too much at times. I actually had this originally as 35mm. For the most part, I just changed this to 65mm yesterday because I felt like the 35 was a little too much. So these don't entirely act the same way. Like I do wish this would have, like in the halation, I wish this had as much control as you do in the halation node. But I might just pull that up in a separate node for y'all to see. Like in the halation node, you get all this. It's so much easier to adjust your halation, being able to see the isolation, your isolated regions, adjust your threshold for it, see how the halation actually spreads and such. You don't really get that with the Film Look Creator, which kind of sucks. And actually, I'm gonna do the film grain example because I'm gonna zoom in, show you. This is what 35mm grain looks like zoomed in on here. And if I go to the Film Look Creator and let me turn this back on, look, there's already way more grain. And this is 65mm, which is a lot finer, not as like intense. And this is what the 35mm looks like on here. Obviously their base settings are a little different. I'm just saying, like, just from the jump, there's a lot less work to get an actual grain look on the new Film Look Creator, so it's a little different. But like, yeah, I was messing around with some of the, and I just switched it back to default. That's basically how I created the look for this. I just did my normal color correction look, and then I went on the Film Look Creator, turned off the color blend, and just used the effects since I already did all the color work, just so I can add halation, bloom, some film grain, some flicker and gate weave, and also added, the gates would be more of a round image. Which obviously I'm still learning to use these, and I feel like it also just depends on the device you're running how noticeable these are. Like on here, I originally had the gate weave turned up a lot, and for some reason I just didn't really see it. I don't know why. I feel like that could also, some of these can also be a little bit more stronger. I do think they could also do a little bit more work, kind of like the old halation film grain node. Like on here, you can't see the grain structure, whereas on the film grain node, again, just like the same thing as halation, you can literally look and just see the grain structure. You get all this, you know, these different, you know, aspects. I just wish the film look creator was as in depth as the separate notes. I feel like that was kind of just my main thing learning with it. I wish I could have done more, is to make it a lot easier for me to learn these and such. Which is why I'm most used to the bass. This is kind of what this section kind of went over long, but this is the aspect that took longest the most time to make. Like doing the rest of it was basically just going through the clips, cutting out the parts I didn't like, and then choosing which moments were my favorite from each of the different scenes, and then putting it together. And the film look is the thing that I've been wrestling with the most and redoing the most. And thank God the music video hasn't come out yet since I recorded this. I thought it was gonna come a couple days ago. I would have been stuck with the look I had before. Yeah, this wasn't really that in depth of a, you know, project. I didn't have that many effects going on. It really is just the color grade that's the main effect, and just having those bass jumps. I will include the video where I learn how to do the bass jumps in the description, because that was not from me. I had to go online, like all of us do, to learn how to do different effects. Also, it comes through this 4-node structure. I will go look online to see where originally got. I can't really find. I've been trying to find the video where I originally got the 4-node structure from. I can't find online. If everybody knows, please put in, comment it so I can put in the description and give this man credit. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope y'all have a great day and keep creating.